You don't want to lose a bag in Belfast.
Well, that was it. I told her you're the last place.
You know that's going to end up in a bomb disposal unit somewhere.
Well, we had to go to see the cops about it.
Oh, really?
I mean, we left it in the restaurant. And
oh, that's not smart. I bet they evacuated the restaurant.
Well,
not smart.
No,
I mean,
no.
It's not fortunate.
No,
because
it wasn't smart. You were right the first time.
Well, it's one of those things. You don't want to be leaving a bag in Belfast.
Okay. Mike, I'm going to say I was a bit surprised by the success of the first Austin Powers film simply because I remember the 60s spy spoofs and I could get the targets of the satire, but I wondered how many people buying tickets to movies today would. Obviously, it's not the satire that drew people in.
I'm at a loss to explain any popularity of anything I do. This was just a movie that I thought you would have to have grown up in my house to get. But I wanted to do it, and Jay Roach, the director, who is a professor of film he was at USC, and a lover of Richard Lester and a lover of, just that 60s sense. This is just what we wanted to do. We had no idea that anyone else would like it. We made it for ourselves.
Because if you were alive during the 60s, you remember that, the cliche, swinging England, swinging London, that was holding forth. That, the ultimate in cool was to be hanging around Carnaby Street or to be a James Bond type spy. But you're not quite old enough to remember that firsthand, are you?
Well, I was born in 63. What happens is when Kurt Vonnegut always talks about when your peephole opens, which is your... You know what I mean? It's like not when you're born, but when you're, I'm here, and I'm me. You know what I mean? And that was during the late 60s. And that I'm here and I'm me-ness met an Englishman who had moved to Canada. And there's nothing more English than an Englishman who no longer lives in England. And I grew up in an outrageously English house where they were outrageously proud of James Bond and Peter Sellers and all the Pink Panther movies. And to me, I literally was forced to stay up and watch these movies. And I loved it, and it was great. And the house was always happier, and it was always exciting. So that's how I come to it. I come to it by way of my father and my mom and stuff.
Now, this movie seems to have an even bigger range of targets. I mean, there's even a little dig at the great Santini in one moment. Was there anything you couldn't get into the film?
Not really. Not really. The whole process of what gets in and what gets out is more journeyman and more logistical than you would imagine. There's a great quote by Kurosawa, and bear with me, I am in no way comparing anything I've done to Kurosawa. Just take the spirit of what he was talking about. There's a scene, evidently, where these warriors come out of the forest and make this beautiful tableau, and it's like 3,000, or a lot of extras and stuff. And Kurosawa was asked why there was no camera movement and how genius that was to have a tableau and have it be filled by the subjects. And he said, and they said, why didn't you pan? He said, because if I'd panned 3 inches to the left, you would have seen the Toyota factory. And that's mostly what film comedy is about, is that it's all about avoiding the Toyota factory. So, that anything gets in at all is magical.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.